Hi, I'm going to go over a high-level overview of our practice management software. First of all, it is divided into several different sections. The section on the left is our newsletter. Keeps you up to date with the new versions and things that are happening within our software. In the center section, we have at the top our current messages. The current messages eliminates the yellow sticky notes that appear on a lot of computer screens or within the patient's file. As you can see, if we mouse over any of those messages, it shows up in great detail more of the things that were laid down in that particular message. All we need to do is check them, the messages appear, and the system automatically timestamps it so that you can move forward. We do have a video training library that's available, and within this video training library are short little excerpts of the software so that if any new people within the practice need to review a way to do things or are coming on and need to be retrained on something, they can click on here and easily find different sections and things that will help them with their continued education and use of the software. Of course, with our product, we always have 24/7 service, and you're more than welcome to call us, and we'll be happy to walk you through that process. The section on the right, accounts receivable and performance indicators, can actually be turned off. Within our software, there are a lot of different security levels that enable you to determine who can go into what area of the software, who can edit things, and you can even have the option of shutting off the software to certain people after 5 p.m. in the evening if you'd like. This is certainly by not any means the extent of our reporting, but it's in real time just to kind of give you an overview of what's happening in the practice so we can determine who actually sees this and has this available to them. As we look on the top, we see lots of different icons. The first icons here under the blue section have to do with new customer information and loading in a new patient. The red has to do with scheduling. The green has to do with billing and money. The orange has to do with the collections of that money. And then, of course, the yellow has to do with our reporting. So what I'm going to do is just take a few minutes. I'm going to drop right here into our schedule section. And this will bring up a schedule that is available for this day. We actually can open it for any day of the week or month if you'd like. It's divided into several sections. These sections are for the providers, but we can certainly set this up to do other things. We can set them up as exam rooms and x-ray rooms or whatever you'd like to do. The little circles next to the provider's name, the 7 here for example, shows how many appointments that particular provider has during that day. You can also see that we can block out different areas within the software. We've got surgery, lunch, we've got hospital rounds, so it's easy to go ahead and schedule those different areas that you need to do so. As we move to the top section here, you can see where we have the patient information. I'm going to, for example, just enter in here and do a patient's name. I'm going to hit the initial J and click on here, and what the system will do is bring up all my J patients that we have located within our database. You can see that we can locate them by chart, social security, date of birth, phone number, whatever is most convenient for you. I'm going to click on Jim Johnson. As I do so, the system will bring forth all the information we have on him and locate it here within the schedule. The first thing that pops up is our patient memo. This gives you notice of different things that are happening within that patient. You can see we have a note to call the patient 2 weeks, maybe meet with the patient concerning his medication intake, or sometimes we have things that have to do with the collecting co-pays or money. These areas in the top that are highlighted or bolded show our eligibility checker, which goes out and checks the eligibility against the patient's insurance information. And when we have some problems there, it'll highlight that so that we know we need to go back and follow through with things. If we move into here, you can see we have the patient insurance information. We have his copay, his family balance, and so forth. This copay comes from our eligibility checking. To make an appointment with the patient is very easy. I just drop down here, left click on the time I want to make the appointment, and what happens is the system brings up available appointment types. We will customize these so they're special to your particular specialty. Let's click on consultation, and it automatically defaults to 30 minutes. Very easy to change it to 45 minutes, whatever you'd like to do. We also have a color schedule here that we can change in any way that we'd like. Currently, I've got it set up in purple because it reminds me of the different things that I can go through. I can also have the special instructions to have the patient arrive early or bring a list of their medications. In addition to that, we have this comment section that enables me to type specific comments about that particular patient. We also have a wait list here. The wait list, if you check this, will enable you to set the patient upon that so that if the patient is scheduled 3 or 4 weeks out but really would like to come in sooner, if you have any available openings that pop up, the wait list will bring up their name and you can schedule them in that open spot, thus being able to keep your schedule full. All I need to do is hit OK now, and it will take this information that I have created and it will put it here on our schedule. If I mouse over this patient, you can see it's Jim Johnson. He's here for consultation. His duration is 45 minutes, and you can even see my comments that I type here. It's very easy in our software to mouse over any of these sections and see what needs to be done or why that patient is coming in. The grays happen to be new patient. Obviously, our purples have to be consultation. We've got some pinks that are coming up with follow-up. So it's just an easy way to look at the schedule and see what's happening. Now, as we move over to the left side here under Edit, this will bring up more detailed information about that particular patient. It's almost as though you're opening up the patient file. We have his picture, we've got his demographic information, even his confidential information. We also have these tabs out at the bottom that highlight different areas within the patient. If I wanted to look under appointments, for example, this would let me know if the patient is on time for his appointments or if he had to move or had any cancellations. We also can look at the history of this particular patient and see all the different times that he has come in. And if we wanted to look into a particular time, I can actually click on here, and it will bring up the charge slip. And I can look and see what the patient portion is, the insurance portion, what the diagnosis codes were, and so forth on that particular patient, on that particular meeting time that you had with them. So there are a lot of different areas that come down here. If I click on insurance, for example, I can review the insurance information of that patient. I even have the ability to scan their insurance card here if you'd like. Now we have these A markings here that show that this patient has active insurance. We keep track of all insurances of our patient because you may still be following through with an inactive insurance, following up with the collections on that. As you enter in the insurance information, you check eligibility. Within a few seconds, that information will be loaded within the system and on the patient's chart. The unique thing about our eligibility checking is that we can also set it up 1, 2, 3 days before the patient's actually due to come in for their appointment, and it will recheck their eligibility. The great thing about that is it gives you an opportunity to always have the most up-to-date information. You'll have their copays, their deductibles, and so forth all set and ready to go for you. Now, as I move into here, one of the unique things about our software is that if I even have my front staff or manager or somebody looking in here and somebody happens to call in for an appointment, all I have to do is go up here to the top and hit appointments, and the system quickly moves over to that area. So a lot of softwares require you to exit out and log out or sign back in to move around within the software. But it's very easy for us to do that. I could go in and look at the information I need to, and then look up here, and it will remind me where I was. Simply click on it, and it takes me right back to the area I was working on. The next thing I'd like to show you is our check-in or confirmation procedure. Right here on the right-hand side, it says confirm. As I do so, I can go ahead and it will bring me up all my patients that are due to come in on this particular day. You can see my eligibility checking. We've got the triangles here that are set ready to go. I've got the green check marks here, so the system has gone out, checked, and their coverage is completely confirmed. If we do have a problem, we simply can click on here. It will tell me what the problem is, and we can get that taken care of. The unique thing about this is if I'm going to do a confirmation checking on Sarah Byrne, I just hit confirm. It brings up a down list so I can hit spoke with patient and hit OK. The system will automatically timestamp that so we know who it was that confirmed that appointment, the time and the date. Again, with our system, I can go ahead and type a note here about that specific patient. As I move through the system, you can see in here that as I click here, this particular patient has a patient balance of $229. So it is good to be able to deal with that while the patient is at home. So as I'm doing the appointment confirmation, I can simply say, Michelle, you have a balance of $229. Can you bring that in with you when you come to your appointment tomorrow so we can clear up your balance? Now she has the ability to make arrangements to bring that money in without having that embarrassment of standing in front of your front desk and not being able to take care of that right there on the spot. Of course, we have our instructions, which you can reconfirm with your patient and say, please arrive at least 15 minutes before your appointment because we have some paperwork to be filled out. The next step within our software has to do with the billing aspect. The unique things about the way we have you set up is that we will be taking care of this for you the whole time. Now, as they go ahead and do that, the interesting thing about our software is that when things are done in the electronic health record side of things, as the providers chart their notes and everything, that information automatically comes forward into our practice management area. Then our billing stuff will move into the practice management area and be able to manipulate that and prepare it ready to send out to the insurance company. I'm going to click right here and just give you an example of some of the things that will happen. So what we do is we will have the different providers listed in here of your whole practice. So you can click on here and see exactly what's going on. It's important to us to have complete transparency within our software. So you can see up here the different tabs. Right here under charge review, we have 114 items that need to be attended to. Under unbilled, 70, exclusions, 10. So at any time, you can go into the software and look and see how our billing team is doing. Those will virtually always be zero for you because as those charges come through, our billing team handles them. They correct them. They run them through Claim Inspector to make sure that all the insurance information is correct, the demographic information is correct, all the billing coding and so forth is correct. They'll even go ahead and adjust the modifiers if need be to make sure that these will go out complete and clean. It is really important to send your claim to the insurance company first time and get paid first time. If there's any errors on it, then it comes back and that delays the whole system. Although we can't know exactly what the insurance company is doing, but one of the unique things about our billing service is that if any charge come back as a denial, then we will handle that denial, we'll take care of it, and resubmit the claim for you. So you'll always be able to see what's happening within the software. When those claims come back, then that money shows up here and it breaks down the system so we know exactly within each insurance company who or the patients that were completely paid. Then our billing team will go through these and appropriately set them up within the different patients' charts, and they will post the payments that are taken care of on those patients. One other thing that we do also is that we do have a collection module. When the billing goes out and comes back and there still is a balance, you have a couple of options. You can either write that off, or we can set it up that it will automatically move within the patient's balance. And as we do so, we will create a report on this, and this will enable you to see what the patient's balances are. Our billing team will go through and collect these balances for you. They will create payment plans according to your direction, and they will follow up with emails and phone calls to make sure this is taken care of. By the time you get to the 4th month, if we still don't have a response from them, they will create a report for you and let you know of the patients that have not responded in those 4 months. And you have the option to move those to collection or write them off, always again by your direction. Now I'd like to take you into the report section. This is a very dynamic area of our software. The unique thing about our reports and the billing team that we work with is that they will create specific reports that you are looking for. So if there are some aging reports or charges, or you want to know about primary payers or whatever, during that implementation and setup period, we will go through and create those reports. We will send those reports to you on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, whatever you'd like to do, and we can manipulate those reports in any way that you want. Of course, all our reports do transfer over to Excel so that you can do with them, graph them, and so forth. But we're here to help you with the dashboard and the reporting section so that you'll be able to keep track of what's happening in your practice. I've owned many businesses in my life, and I've always said that you cannot grow your business unless you know where you have been and where you are, and we're here to help you grow your business. That's basically a high-level overview of the practice management software and the items that we have to offer. You know how to reach me, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks so much. Again, this is Alan with ChartLogic.